All right, so we're just gonna go over like a few things. First thing I just want to go over is just my analysis on the cues. I mainly just been focusing on the cues, really. I haven't looked too much at SPY, but I mean SPY is like half. I mean half a SPY is basically the cue, so they're basically intertwined. But from a weekly standpoint, we dipped below this 300 level and we held pretty. We had made a nice little long wick shooting star. I mean, sorry, not shooting star, hammer here. Bearish one on that. Let me pull up this volume subgraph. But the interesting part is the volume. So as you can see here, as we were coming down to this area, you see that price action starts making small candles. They just start producing small candles, especially as we get towards this demand zone over here. And as we're making these small candles, you see volume is just steadily increasing. If we're seeing volume steadily increasing, we should be seeing bigger candles than this right here, like wide body candles. Like this should have blown through this 300 level. Like on this amount of volume, that should have took us at least down to like the 280s to 260s if this was like legit volume, legit bearish volume. What this tells us is that we have a situation here which entails stopping volume. And I've talked about this a few times before, but we'll just like go over it again. Basically, stopping volume is when as price is reaching a demand zone, you see a pickup in volume. Um, and this is due to institutions starting to step in basically pretty heavy, and they're slowing down the market from dropping any further. And just for the time being, we are seeing a slow up here, and it doesn't mean that we'll see an automatic reversal like this is just going to go back up. But what this does tells us is that institutions are very interested in what's going on in this area, and that we should be also watching this area as well. So what we're looking for here is just possibly a trend change setup or a continuation down. If we go down to the daily time frame, that same trend line that I drawn here, you can see that's where this is where we're currently heading to. And this will be a telltale sign of where we could potentially go. Now, when we come down to the daily, we do have a decrease in volume, but the decrease in volume isn't what's really concerning me so much, just because like this is still a pretty small candle relative to the rest of these. So this doesn't really concern me, especially since we're coming down into this area right here. We have this such high volume activity, and we have all these small candles. Once again, small candles with very high volume. Like this is stopping volume right here. So we're still seeing a slow up, and we could possibly see range trade for maybe a week or two before we try to make a move above these 310s here, or we could possibly reject here and then continue down past this 285 area. But for the time being, though, on the weekly and the monthly standpoint, we're still, yes, we have made a new low in a sense and broken this low, but in the grand scheme of things, on the monthly time frame, we're still pretty bullish. We're still pretty bullish. We haven't broken the true low, which is this 260 here. If we're looking from a monthly standpoint, and this is basically what I'm looking at. Just watching this 300 area, this is it's super crucial, and just to see that we're making a doji here on the monthly, we're 2 weeks into the month, but already starting to see some decisiveness here. So we're seeing some good activity. We got lowering volume already coming in here, especially this right here. You see we have these two hammers here, and then you have this fat engulfing bearish engulfing bar, but that bearish engulfing bar is on lesser volume than this one right here. So this is already getting a slow up in a sense, because this should have made at least like a little bit smaller candle. But because we have that bigger size of candle, you would want to see like more volume. Like you wanted to see volume at least like right here, because this candle size body is uh not as big, but that's the kind of volume you would want to see on this candle. You know what I mean? So we're definitely seeing some interest in this area from like all sides. So 300 area, it will definitely be on watch. And that's basically my take on QQQs. Pretty simple. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're all watching the same thing. And I mean, I'm pretty sure you go on Twitter, there'll be a lot of people talking about this area. So that's basically what we'll be keeping on watch. Um, and as far as like volume price analysis, this stopping volume right here, definitely take note of this stuff because like this is what real true signs of like slowdowns is, especially on these bigger time frames. Like this is what you really, it's things like this that gives you that makes good buying opportunities or good selling opportunities, whichever way, if you're trying to get out of a position or getting into a position. Like volume tells so much. Like price action is king, volume is queen. Like with those two intertwined, like those tell you like 80% of it. Your indicators, our trend line, support, resistance, all that stuff, that's just like the other 20%. Like, that just makes it visually easier for us to look for areas to get into. But outside of that though, that's basically what I'm looking at on the cues. Um, Yesterday I did post that I'll be doing more alerts. I did like take a little break, was in like a transition period. Now I'm kind of in a groove and feel comfortable to where I can do more alerts for you guys. And as you guys have seen me posting gains and stuff, like I've really just been focusing on break and retest setups, which is basically the 80% entry that we've learned from Bueller. If you've gone through the course or just like watched plenty of us post about it, I mean it's one of the easiest strategies that you can do. On top of that though, the main reason why it's the thing that I look for is because it just doesn't happen in the morning. Like breaking retests are happening like all throughout the day. Like when new levels are being broken, like say like even throughout the day. Let's just go through some charts here. I'm gonna get this out of here. But retests happen like all throughout the day. I mean, you get a retest here early in the morning. Boom, that's a retest. You get a breakthrough down here. Then you come back. You have this retest here. Break above here. Not so much of a retest right there, but I mean, if you count this right here, get a little retest up here. So there's like plenty of opportunities for like for second chest entries. And for me, that's just like more safer, especially in an indecisive market as it has been, because like I mean, we just been getting like kind not so much like whipsawed, but I mean, you didn't see like a lot of indecisiveness. Hasn't been so much like follow throughs. Like you see, this is basically like a just like a big ass range trade from 285 to 296. I mean, it was like plenty of days like this that we've had. And then the few follow throughs that we have had, it hasn't been like too big, and they've been basically coming towards like the end of the day. So that's just, you know what I mean? Like, look at this right here. We just had a fat old inverse head and shoulder pattern. Move this over here. Yeah, definitely retest on calls working great in this market. Definitely for sure. Definitely for sure. Um, and they also work great for retests too, I mean, they also work great for gaps as well though too. That's another thing that they work great for is gaps as well too. Let's see, where's a good one? Because there's plenty of times where like price can like gap above a level and it'll just come back down to just like to retest it sometime later in the day or even during like pre-market. Like you'll see it a lot, and I'm sure I will catch some as we go through the week. But yeah, there's some of the easiest strategies that you can use. Now, what I like to look for in these break and retest strategies is just super simple. Like for A plus criteria, I always like talk about A plus criteria. Basically, an A plus criteria for me when it comes to break and retest strategies is just super simple. I just need to see a break above a level on rising volume. It's just stuff that Bueller just always preaches to us. We just want to see a break on rising volume. Let's say if we had this here, honestly, let's just put this here because this is more of the true. Didn't get that there, but we got a break and a hold over on rising volume. And then when we pulled back, that's the one thing that we want to see is a pullback. We did have that on lowering volume right here. And what I want to see on pullbacks is if I can get not only lowering volume, but if I can get candles like this, like little consolidation candles and also like smaller candles as it comes back to the point of breakout, this shows true weakness in this pullback and that this is going to be short-lived. And all we're looking for at this point is just a good opportunity to get in. And my favorite things to look for to get in on are hammer candles, dojis, inside bars and outside bars. But when it comes to outside bars, like the size of the candle does matter. I mean, for all of these candles, the size of the candles does matter because uh, risk reward is very important, and you don't want to get on a really big candle just because like if price goes against you already, like if it hits that other side of the candle, that could be like a quick 20% loss right there, depending on the size of the candle. So that's another criteria that I like to look for. Say if we had pull back down to this area right here, because that's actually where it pulled down to. What I want to look for is also shrinking candles as it's come down, but I also want to see these entry candles right here. I want to see some small entry candles just because they make great risk reward for them. Not only that though, too, we get multiple candles of these too, like we got here, hammer, we got another hammer, kind of a butterfly doji. And then we got another hammer right here. We got multiple reversal signals. Good entry right here. And not only that though too, we had slow down right here because we had this lowering volume. Lowering volume. That's all we're looking for. And then this is a good sign right here to show that we may have like some a bullish reversal going on because we did have this big spike in volume, but it was indecisive. Like price came down here, held that on that amount of volume. Price should have pushed one way or another and held at least like one side, but it didn't. So this is a good sign that price is holding strong here and that buyers could push the market up. In a market like this though, like 289 to 292, the little $3 move, that's pretty good. I mean for like a scalp trade at least. Um, and another thing that I like to look for too is Fibonacci retracements. I want to see price come back to these two lines here, these 50% and the 61.8%. I don't really look at any other fib levels because I mean, less is more for me, and the less I focus on, the more profitable I am. And so if I just focus on this right here, just keep it simple. Like I don't like if price did never made it back down a year in reverse, like from here, that's fine. You're not going to catch every trade, and that's like the trade-off with your strategies. Like your strategies aren't built to catch every single trade. They're only meant to catch trades built for that type of strategy. So just keep that in mind as well too. So as far as like the break and retest strategy, that's like things that I like to look for. Break above levels on high volume, pull back on low volume with shrinking or small candles. Also, if there's a reversal pattern or a continuation pattern being made too, like if you get a break above and you have a bull flag being made while price is pulling back to the breakout area, that's a very good sign of a reversal. So like this right here, you have this little trend change pattern. That's also great too. Um, trend change patterns during the day are very great. I mean, as you can see right here, as price is trending up, once it broke through here, had a little reset candle right here, continue down. Like these are great patterns as well though too for day trading. But yeah, for A plus criteria, when it comes to candlesticks, I'm definitely looking at for bullish candlesticks, definitely looking at the hammer, green dojis, uh, hanging, sorry, not hanging, but inverted hammers, and inside bars, outside bars, and piercing lines too. And then for bearish, definitely the dark cloud covers, shooting stars, hanging mans, and also the inside, outside bars as well too. And yeah, that's basically what I wanted to talk to you guys about, and what to look for if you guys are going to be following any of my plays this week. This is basically where we're going to be looking for just straight breakouts and retests. And if we get one, if we get two, if we get five, that's cool. Uh, but yeah, yeah, all this is going to teach you guys is just patience, like patience, very very strong patience, and also teach you a system that Bueller always preaches. All this stuff ties into none of this stuff that I'm teaching is new. This is just the stuff that I focus on, but this is all like all comes from like the BB course. And if you guys haven't taken that course, I would suggest you guys definitely do as soon as possible. My most common stop loss is negative 15%. The reason why that is because I want to keep my losses at a negative 3%, negative 3% on my total account a day, and I do 10% position sizes on my account, and with that, it allows me a negative 15%. And what I found is that my negative 15%, because of my entries, are normally towards are normally inside of demand or supply zones. My negative 15% stop losses are actually at a very good spot. It's actually at the outside of my zone, so I like to keep it there, and that allows me just like two losses a day, and it just keeps me in control of my account. How do you set it up when you make the trade? Like I do it in a separate. So I do it. I mean, I do a lot of manual stuff. Earlier, I was asking about like tutorials on ActiveTrader because I'm trying to become more beneficial. Sorry, not beneficial, but more like efficient with my executions. But I normally would have just gone to like the trade, like straight up on the trade, bought here. As soon as I get bought in, I'm immediately going in it and setting it to whatever the dollar amount is from my entry. So say if my entry is like 279, I'm going to set it 15%, whatever that dollar amount is. I'm just going to set it negative 15%, whatever that dollar amount is. So uh the fuck is 279? Say 279 times 15%. That's 41. So I'm saying 42. So 279 minus 42. I'm automatically going to set my stop loss at 321. Yeah, basically the same way. Yep. Yeah, bro. Like that. Oh, damn. That is pretty crazy. But I mean, but that's just like a test of how efficient fibs are. Like that 50% like price it's just like a magnet to that area. Up or down, it's going to come back to that area. And the crazy part is though too, you can use fib levels while you're in trades. So say if you're in a reversal trade that you weren't so comfortable in, that you didn't have like the confidence that it was going to continue. You can use the Fibonacci retracements just to like catch a trade back up or down to that 50% retracement of that leg. Says, I mean, let's see here. What's a good one that we could say? There's like plenty of examples of this. All right, so say like this, right? I think this is a good one. All right, so say like this, right? You have you have this here, and price did reach back to this area. What you notice right here, that price started to form like a double triple top. So you weren't too sure that price maybe wasn't going to fully come back and break above this area. But you see that price is reclaiming this GP area. So you decide to get in this trade. You can use this as an area to take profit at, because guess what price did? It came back, retested this 50 to 61%. It actually broke above, but what did it do? It resumed that downtrend right there. So that's just like a good way also to use these if you're not so confident in your trade continuing. So you can use fibs for plenty of things, and you don't even have to use fibs just from like a start of a leg. Like you can use a fib from the start of a breakout area as well though too. Like say like right here. Let's see, is that a good one? If we broke out like right here. Yep, right there. Let me clear all this first off. Let's say if we had this as the point of breakout right here, broke above right there, came down, retested that 50% area. Let me move this down, sorry. So it doesn't just have to be from the start of the leg, like you can use it from a point of breakout. I mean, it's just like whatever your preference is. But Uncle Sam, how do you make your zones? Pretty it's pretty simple. Like I like to look for areas where price acted as support and resistance. Those to me are my favorite areas. Just because that's an area that bulls and bears are both interested in. So say if we had this right here, let's say like right here. This is a good one right here. So if we have this right here, depending on what time frame I'm starting on, I'm always looking at what Bueller preaches. I'm looking at emerging candles and I'm looking at the bodies. So I would be grabbing from right here where this emerging candle is, and then pulling this over and then bringing it down to these emerging candles right here. And so for me, this area right here, because it acted as both support and resistance, this is the area that I would be looking at this zone for potential entries. And what I would be looking for is I'm looking to see if price will hold above this zone to go calls, or price will hold below this zone to go for puts. And so and then I also have a criteria that I also like to look for too. So as you turn on the volume profile, heavy in the area. Yeah, that's a good way to make zones as well though too with the volume profile. I don't use the volume profile myself. Um I probably should like look into it, but yeah, I just like to look for areas that acted as both support and resistance, and even if it didn't, it could be like a newly formed or respected area. It could be a multiple area with like multiple rejections, like this one right here has multiple rejections in it. Could be a swing high, a swing low of a new move, but I'm always looking for like the emerging spot. And if I just had this area right here, I'll just start it from the emerging area, the emerging, and then pull it all the way down from like to the wicks right there, and then that'll be my zone. And it'll just be the same thing what I'm looking for. It's like I'm looking for price to either hold above here to go for calls, or hold below the zone to go puts. Yeah, exactly. That's what I do too. I'll go down time frames and look for strong reversal areas. Like the strong reversal areas that I like to look for are definitely areas with multiple rejections. Excuse me. Areas with multiple rejections, like that's like a clear sign that price most likely won't advance from there. And then double bottoms too. One thing I like about double bottoms, what I like about double bottoms, like on the second bottom, how you can tell that the double bottom might hold up is when that second bottom or second top has less volume than the first top or bottom. And the reason why I say that is because all the double top or double bottom is basically a retest to see if there is see to still see if there is demand or supply in in the market before institutions, MMs, before they advance the market in whichever way they prefer. Like they need to make sure that there's no more supply or no more demand, so there's nothing getting in the way of their agenda. So that's like what I like to see on those second tops and bottoms. I want to see lower volume than the previous top or bottom. So say right here you have like we got one on high volume, second one on lower volume, third one on low volume, and then we have a pickup in volume. Boom, that's a triple bottom basically because we barely broke that low right there. And then same thing with this one. High volume activity in this area. At the bottom, low volume activity. Testing to see if there's any more demand. The colored candles, they're indicators to let me know when outside bars or inside bars have formed. The purple ones are outside bars. All it is just like an engulfing candle. But the basis of these candles is that the order does not matter. All you're just looking for in the outside bar is an expansion in volatility, and all you're looking for in inside bars is just indecisiveness and then a consolidation period before an explosive move, whichever direction that is. And that's just basically what an inside bar is like a bullish harami or bearish harami. But like I said, the color, uh, if it's uh, if it's bearish or bullish doesn't matter. All we're just looking for is a consolidation, a slowdown in the market for a potential move in whichever way. And I like to use these at my areas of interest. So say if we came down to here, as you can see here, once we touch this area, what do we have here? We have inside and outside bars, and like these are really good areas that you want to see because they show that either MMs, institutions, either they're looking to get into here or they're looking to stay out of the market. And more times as not, when you see a pickup in volume, when you see a pickup or a drop off in volume, it's with volume, you have to be very objective. You have to be very objective. Just because volume doesn't always mean the same in every situation. Like in a perfect world, you would want to see just lowering volume as price comes down to an area, right? But that's not always the case. Sometimes there'll be a pickup in volume. There will be a pickup in volume, and it may freak you out. You may think that prices may be picking up, like price action may be picking up, and we could just like continue down. But no, when you see here is that price is holding here, and it actually shows indecisiveness. So this inside bar right here, once we got down here, yeah, we had lowering volume, but this is just showing indecisiveness, and it just shows that price wasn't able to break above or below the last session. So this is actually giving us a sign that wait a minute, we got to slow down and pause, and we could possibly be looking to either continue or break above, but either continue or reverse. But the whole point is that we may have an opportunity to get into the trade before the next move. And so that's why I have these colored because I want to know when we have these inside and outside bars because it'll let me know when's a good time to get into the trades. Sorry for the long-winded answer. If you read the candlestick, the Candlestick Bible. That talks a lot about inside and outside bars in there as well, um, and as well as other candlestick patterns. What setups are you guys looking at for this upcoming week? Yeah, exactly, man. Like that's the thing. That's the thing with volume. Like it tells you so much. It just doesn't tell you the whole story. Like it's a cliffhanger. It's just a straight cliffhanger. Yeah, I can do spy analysis. I feels it, brother. Man, I'm so pumped for Monday. Let's do spy here. All right. Dang, these levels I had drawn from a long time ago. Let's clear all these out there. Yeah, we got definitely got lowering volume coming into this area right here, which I'm going to say, let me go to the weekly. Okay, so broke that demand zone. So where would be the next one? I'm going to have to go down to the daily. All right, so yeah, that's where we're at. Sheesh, look at that volume. Sometimes you got to go down time frames to get that level, that area you want. But yeah, SPY's looking just like QQQ. Um, high volume, very high volume, but price not making that big moves. This ties into the law of effort the law of effort versus result. The effort should always match the result relatively. The volume should be matching this result. Like this candle right here has way less volume, not way less, but definitely has less volume. But this candle didn't it didn't really do much. I mean, like, yeah, it made a long wick, but where did it close? Like, damn near at its open. Like, this should have closed at least up here or way down here. And now we have this nice long wick hammer. This would be nice if we do get like if we get a few weeks of just consolidation in this area, if we get like multiple reversal signals, bro, we will be feasting for weeks to come. So, but this is good right here. It looks like this 390 area, this 390 to 380, this 390 area is area of interest. We're retesting this 400 right here currently. I mean, dang, we're retesting it all in the same week. So now on the daily standpoint, we do have lowering volume coming into this area. So we possibly could see a slowdown and maybe we start ranging in between this 405 to 390, 380 for excuse me, for a little bit. But if I'm looking to play calls on this, I would definitely be looking above this 404 to 409. But I would like to see a close over this with rising volume. If we get a close over that with rising volume, it would definitely look good for some. It'll definitely look good for a possible bullish continuation. But we still got this area right here that we'd probably have to get through as well for like a true trend change. Um, if this did decide to break above here. Ideally, we would want to see this because we would want to see the trend change happen right here versus up here. Because we'd want to be like we want to get into the trend as early as possible. So like a range between here and then try to go for the trend change, that would be ideal. So 405, 404, 405, I'm watching, I would be watching for a break above on rising volume. If we do break above here, maybe we get a retest. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like get a bounce, like consolidate in this area, and then have that trend change happen in this area versus like up here. Nice channel as well too. Yeah, that's in a perfect world, that's really what we want to see. Like I would want to see a retest if we can get a double bottom on this area. That would be that would be that would be a good start of conviction for a potential bull run. And it would give price action time to reach up to this area for a point of breakout. Ooh, that could possibly end up being oh snap. That could possibly end up being a inverse head and shoulders if it does decide to break up and come test this 430 area. May come back down, test this 410, 405. Go ahead, run that back up to 430. Test that 450. Come back down to 430. Run it up to 460. That's how Elliott waves work, right? Yeah, pretty much. All right. Well, does anybody have any questions? Want me to go over anything? Go over any charts? Nope. Trying too hard on that one. Mm, mm. Acted as support, resistance. And that's the area that we're in right now. Microsoft is looking Gucci. Once again, would love to see a retest of this area. Make a nice little double bottom. And look at that volume. What I was just saying, we got increase in volume, but no result from the effort. Really no result from the effort. We just begin shrinking, choppy candles. This is what makes opportunities. High volume, small candles. Small candles, high volume. Those are what makes opportunities. Those are when the MMs, those are where the big money is showing their hands. You will see it here. You will see it here before you hear it in the news. More times than not. Not all the time, but 90% of the time, more times than not. It's 264. That's where it's at. 264. That's a good area to watch. This 264, 263. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. That news is timed, bro. All of it's timed. It's all timed. They're looking at the same levels that we're looking at because they know that we're stupid enough to buy at those areas, to either buy or sell at those areas. So where are the perfect areas to release these news? At the areas that everybody's watching. But Microsoft above 264, I like this because that has like plenty of room up to 274 areas. Yep, multiplier upside and downside. For you guys at day trade, how do you guys go about searching your profit targets or just targets in general? Like what feel like charting BTC? Yeah, I can. I'm down. Hey, where we at? Where we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? Making what? On what kind of volume? That's a crazy double top though. This 28's got a hold here. for sure that 28 has to hold here. But the fact that price made this much volume and uh bulls are showing fight in this area, that's impressive. Let's go down to the daily, and yeah, that's nice. We got candles getting smaller, pickup in volume right here. Like that's too damn small of a candle for that much volume. But that's a nice long wick hammer. Let's look at the let's look at this here, and then boom, buyer stepped in a whole gang, and you can tell there are some whales out there that there's like, yo, 28, let's run it. Yeah, that's what it appears. Like, look how much volume starts coming in this area. That's I know that one company that that one management company. They said that if it, I can't remember the name of the company, but there's a fund manager. I think they said if Bitcoin dips below 21,000 that they would get a fat margin call. MicroStrategy. Okay, yeah, yeah. Whoo, that's your ass, Mr. Postman. They got close, but yo, we're inside of this. We're inside of the Fib GP. Yeah, it has to go way lower than 21,000. So clearly, BTC above 36, 37 area. That looks like that's like signal for potential. Yeah, of course, bro. I'm actually about to be heading out soon too myself, but have fun, man. All right, yeah, and thanks, G. And yeah, I'm gonna be heading out. I'm gonna be heading out as well too. But as far as like BTC, I definitely would be looking at this 36 to 37 area um for potential upside. But definitely this 28, they lose this 28, like a close below that. Sheesh, I could possibly go down to 20,000 because that there's not really much in between there and 20,000. It looks like in between 28 to 20,000. I mean, we have this gap right here, so you possibly get a slowdown around like this 25 to 23, but the real area is this 20,000 for sure. Yeah, I feel like the only it like if this was the fall, I feel like the only slowdown would come in this area right here, this gap area, where I mean, basically what we saw right here already. We already got like a wick in that area. 19.5, 19.7. Oh, yep. I see. All right, fam. Well, I'm about to dip out of here myself. For those that joined, thanks again. Hope you guys learned anything. If you have any questions about volume, fibs, break and retest, 80% entries, about the BB course or the BB system. DMs are always open. You can always tag me in anything. But other than that, you guys have a good rest of your day. And let's get ready to make some money tomorrow. Later, fam.